Alright. Yo, what's up, y'all? Today we will be looking at the exact moment David turned into a monster. Alright, so got another David video. This one's been out for a bit. I just never saw it. So I'm gonna just jump into it. Kind of look at it, you know how we do. Yeah, let's just get into it.
The interviews are starting to resurface of David, and we're finally getting the moment. I've put a couple of pieces together where he became a full-on monster.
Alright, so I should have probably said this in the beginning, but I don't know how far the David case has gone so far. I've been trying to keep up with it, but it's been seeming kind of blank as of right now. I just don't know if they haven't had another hearing or anything or whatnot, but yeah, so just letting you know, I haven't really seen too much
Now,
on
this interview was conducted just days after he had allegedly murdered Celeste Rivas and stabbed her to death. And this was done on the Zach Sanger Show, which is a platform that interviews a lot of pop artists, a lot of songwriters, things like that.
When did you decide to say, okay, I'm not going to be a professional gamer, let me pursue music full-time?
That moment happened the day I made Romantic Homicide, I think. Because right after the Fortnite stuff was going on, I moved to TikTok and started doing the covers.
So maybe I'm a bit confused. So Romantic Homicide, which I thought was the song about him doing the murder. So did he not actually make that song after the murder? Did he make it before? Does that count as premeditated?
I started out as the meme thing. And then I made Romantic Homicide, and it was so different than everything else I had made because it was actually sad. It was slow, it was sad, it was emotional, it had weight to it. Most of my other songs, like Take Me to the Sun and The Dirty Secrets, before that, and
definitely had weight.
They're all these indie up-tempo records that you could just do whatever.
It definitely does now.
And I played it for my mom. And whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. Like when I used to get up and get dressed for school in the morning, I put on this cool fit. She'd be like, take that off, put on a suit or something like that, you know? I knew it was cool if she hated it. I played it for her in the car. She was like, David, this song is too violent. You talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son. And I was like, wait, am I?
Ooh, you laugh, you go to hell. Because that definitely is your son. It's exactly what he did.
So I dropped
allegedly.
It right after that.
Allegedly.
And it went crazy.
It would be
TikTok
amazed.
viral, million views overnight. I was like, oh yeah, we cooking, boy. We cooking, boy. So right at that moment, I was like, my mom has done it again. Because if she said, oh, because I was already skeptical about the song when I made it. Like, I was like, okay, maybe it's just too dark. I don't know what I'm doing. I held on to it for a minute until I decided to play it for my mom, and she hated it, and that was my cue.
Actually, nah.
That was the go do it. So after that, it was just it was history, man.
So clearly, we heard that he was originally just a Fortnite kid as a gamer, and then the moment he was already dabbling in music, but the moment he made a Romantic Homicide is when he first made that switch. Now, keep in mind, Romantic Homicide released in 2022. He had not yet met up with Celeste. He met Celeste in January of 20.
You know what's crazy? Hold on, let me.
22 online, but they wouldn't meet until late 2023 when his music career had already taken off and Romantic Homicide had been released. So if he,
it's so crazy. If you every my brain for some reason can't do the math and wrap around the fact that he met her when he was 11, I think. I remember, if I remember correctly, and then he was, what was he? Was he 15 or was he 17? I forgot. But it's just so odd, or maybe I think he was 16. But it's just so odd that when you hear the age gap, and then you hear the years everything happened, it's just it's so recent, but everything feels like it happened. It feels like what I'm trying to say is it expanded over a period of time, a longer period of time. But then when you hear I guess the number, well, at least I do, when I hear the number 2020 and up as a year, it seems like that was just a few years ago. But it's crazy that Like, I don't know. I just can't get my brain can't
if he had
do the
just
math.
stayed as a Fortnite gamer, as a Fortnite pro, as a Fortnite content creator, he likely wouldn't have left his neighborhood or his city. If he did, he would have been in the Fortnite scene, and it's unlikely that he would have had the resources to get into a relationship, or what he believed was a relationship with Celeste, and then it eventually turned into where he's threatening to, she's threatening to expose him, and then he ends up killing her. But a very interesting comment here that was made is that his mother probably tried to do everything she could to prevent him from turning into this monster. In that interview clip, he's referencing that his mom really did not like it. She told him not to release that song. And he's like, oh, I knew I had something here. And also, he goes into...
It's crazy, too. Like, okay, she didn't want you to release a song. She didn't like it. But it blew up. It got you famous. And you're doing your thing now. Like, you up in the world off of a song your mom didn't like, but now it's just like coming back to bite you, cause like, dang, like you had this song. It's like if you really wasn't crazy, you didn't actually do anything. Like that song would have just been like, you know, he has something. He has something. Like he was able to not let me as his mother stop him from making a song, which she probably did at some point. She probably did have that thought. And then this happened, so...
detail later in the same interview about his experience of being homeschooled.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is... Were you sad at the time of making it?
I was. I mean, dude, homeschooling really takes a toll on a kid. Like...
Isolation.
Yeah, and there's outlets, like, I know, I made a couple friends now that were homeschooled, but they had, like, these groups that they would go to, like, bi-weekly and just to socialize. But I didn't have that. Like, there was no... like extracurricular activities I was involved in it was just me at home playing Fortnite, getting schoolwork done, learning how to code and build computers for 4 years. 4 years.
I mean, building computers is still a skill. I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, that's nothing bad. I mean, I've only done like 2.5. My friend helped me on my first one. Shout out to him. And then I built this one that I got currently, and then I built I built one for a friend. So that's a good skill. So it seems like he was on the right track, even though he didn't socialize. I just don't know where like the switch went.
Yeah, man. Romantic homicide was just like I wanted to feel what the other kids were feeling. Like everybody I knew.
No kid's feeling like that. No kid is feeling like, yeah, I'm gonna kill somebody. No kid's feeling like that.
Well, in middle school that I didn't talk to anymore. Everybody had relationships. I didn't have a relationship. I wanted to do that.
Okay, now that makes sense.
This, like, or have a heartbreak for myself. So I kind of just like made up these scenarios of myself getting heartbroken.
Well, you know, the actual song, like you in the back
write songs about things I never.
So that makes sense.
And that would just become my life.
But he took it a little too literally.
Years, man.
So he's talking about being homeschooled. He's talking about romantic homicide being a complete just LARP. Like he doesn't have any experiences. And keep in mind, this is a very important point. He's talking about he got pulled out of regular school in middle school, and then for 4 years of high school, he's homeschooled. And he's just building computers, playing Fortnite, this and that. His parents or his mom pulled him out to put him in homeschool for a reason. A lot of homeschool kids, they usually get homeschooled from the beginning. It's a planned thing. Okay, we're going to homeschool our kid. And then a lot of them, I went to school with some of these kids. When it comes time for high school, they get sent out. And they get brought into high school, but they were homeschooled elementary and middle school.
I just saw my life flash. I was trying to take this pillow off the chair. It's weird. I'm gonna just cut that off. It's my speaker, my stereo speaker. But yeah, like, yeah, my life just flashed.
But it's very unlikely and uncommon that they go to elementary school, they go to middle school, and then they get pulled out for high school, unless they have behavioral problems, unless they have bullying problems. But it didn't seem like that, or at least...
I mean, what if they're just like, you know, we can't pick you up from school, so you're gonna stay at home and do school. I mean, I feel like there's other ways to do that.
The bullying problem
I don't want to
with
seem like
David
I'm trying
because
to
he
defend.
would have spoken about being bullied in his music.
I'm trying to look out for
So
my
why
fellow
was he
homeschools.
pulled
Well,
out
no,
for
I don't know why I said fellow. I
homeschool?
wasn't homeschooled.
And my guess, my complete opinion here, is that his mom saw behavior that she saw him going down a path that she did not want him to go down. And we don't know what that is.
That mom's?
We don't know if he was causing harm to other students. We don't know any of that. But there is something here that we're not getting, which is why did you get homeschooled?
Okay, this is not good. Now he looks crazy. Now he actually looks crazy.
Why did they pull you out of regular school? But also it goes to show his mentality and potential stunted growth. Because I need to make this disclaimer. This is not a justification for what he did. But you see, he's talking about middle school. Oh, yeah, middle school, end of middle school, into high school. I don't have these experiences. All these people are having these relationships. So I make up these songs about heartbreak, like romantic homicide. And it's just, it's all fake about situations that I don't have because I don't have a girlfriend and I'm not meeting people and I'm just lonely here at home all the time. And then when you think about it, well, who was in middle school? The entire duration of their, quote, relationship. Celeste. He met Celeste when she was 11 and then she died before she turned 14. So they took him out of homeschool before he turned 14 because that's usually when kids go into freshman year of high school. And unfortunately, he took her off this planet before she could even see high school for herself, which is just another probably dark.
Now that I'm actually thinking about it and sitting here, I understand the time issue that I was trying to comprehend. I'm understanding. I'm thinking it was going for way longer. I think it's just because their gap is so crazy. So it's just unfathomable in my head. But now I'm understanding now.
Unintentional theme with this guy, but mentally, this guy thought he was still in middle school. He hadn't matured through high school because.
You know what? That makes sense. Okay, I take back what I said. I think it was last video where I was like, "Oh, I blame him being homeschooled," because I feel like that's just a shot at anybody who was homeschooled. Like dang. But now I'm seeing him still having a middle school mindset socially to where now I understand that it it makes sense. But at the same time, I feel like especially when you're someone of David's status, you naturally have to force yourself to mature and get out of that kind of mindset. I mean, especially if you have people around you getting you into things, I feel like that just happens naturally. And it's not like he doesn't know right from wrong, especially if his motive is because she was going to ruin his career. So I still stand on the same thing as that part, but I understand the home
high school. A lot of different experiences happen to you. I'm not saying you grow up in high school, but even a sophomore year high schooler is very different mentally to what they were in 6th, 7th, and got even 8th grade. But he was just after her in middle school. And a lot of the time,
I guess.
I
don't remember.
You just think middle schoolers are just kids. Even though they may be, if you're in 9th grade, you think 8th graders might as well be toddlers. But he didn't think that. And he was playing the game with this person from January of 2022. Which just goes to show that this had an effect on him. Homeschooling had an effect on him, but I don't think that it was what made him who.
I was about to say what he's about to say. I don't think homeschooling gave him that much of an effect to change his mindset so drastically like that to be able to commit what he did allegedly. So, I mean, I think it's something else. I think it's another issue. I don't think he's just flat out crazy. Well, as of now, but I don't think he was originally crazy until maybe something else happened.
He was, because his mom also didn't want him to be a rapper, because this is a TikTok from very early on in David's career. This TikTok was actually posted on May 26, 2022. So this is months. This is 4 months after he first met Celeste online and became friends. and it's playing in the background right now because it has one of his songs. 42 Visits is the song, or it's like Fly Away. That's the sound that they used. And you can see his mom didn't want him to be a rapper, and so he became an artist instead. And you can,
I mean, that's what, he's not really a rapper to say, like, is it just because he's black? Is that why he's being called a rapper? I just never thought of him as a rapper. I just thought of him as like
the mom,
artist.
she probably,
which I think like an artist is like a bunch of different like genres. Maybe I'm wrong with thinking that, but I think it's just a whole bunch of different things going into being an artist versus just a rapper, which a rapper is an artist, but it's more like rap is just so big. You don't really say rap artist. You just call him like a rapper, and it's not like it's like a pop artist, country artist, or really country singer, but you know.
We didn't want him to be a rapper because of what she associated with a mainstream rapper. Whether that was violence, drugs, the image of rappers that is not entirely true. But think about it. At that time, well, who was popping? Like 2020, you had King Von, you had a Young Boy, you had a bunch of killers. But also another weird thing, because he said he played Romantic Homicide for his mom and she didn't like it. Well, there was this TikTok that was posted in 2023. And this was posted towards the end of 2023. The Romantic Homicide.
What did that caption say? I just saw I got whooped.
This was posted towards the end of 2023. The Romantic Homicide is playing in the background of this. And he says, I got whooped for this, but
dang.
I don't...
Hold on. Mama, 4 boys. He didn't have any sisters? So, dang, 4 boys.
don't care. 3 more...
What does this say? Your mom has 4... I'm guessing that says kids. Challenges of convincing mom to let me drop.
For days. And I don't know if this was an official release onto streaming services or something like that, because Romantic Homicide had been out, but a fan would ask, why do you need permission? And David would say, she's my label, my manager, my agent, and my PR, bro. Now, I don't know if this is
crazy.
Just
like
him making jokes about the situation, but it is something to be considered. And also, another comment about him not wanting to be a rapper because of his mom, in that old TikTok, someone commented and said, wait, I did not know you go to my church. And this was in January 15, 2023.
Oh, that's not the actual document.
So this person was replying so early on in David's career, they're not just going to randomly lie and say he went to their church. So David, his mom, did not want him to be a rapper. She took him out to be homeschooled. She did not like the song Romantic Homicide.
That makes sense now I see that. It's not just like her not liking the song. I think it's more of, now I'm seeing the cards be played. It's more of like a, why are you doing that? You're going to church and you're talking about killing somebody. Yeah.
He talked about, everything that his mom didn't like meant that it was cool. So it was probably something edgy and something that, she wasn't a, quote, hip mom. And she was taking him to church. So it's clear that all of these things together doesn't add up with the description we got of David, one of the most important details of the paperwork that we got.
It's crazy, though. He still went places with this song. So imagine, like, if he didn't make this song, then, yeah, I guess the situation probably would have never led him to this because he wouldn't be as big. But it's crazy because imagine if everything still went right. You're telling somebody, yo, this shouldn't be released because it doesn't follow what I believe in. For one, you're stunting somebody else's growth. That I don't like. But this is in the case of this song actually being, like nothing like occurred after this. Like if the whole Celeste thing never happened, like they never met or anything. He didn't get into any other trouble with it. So it's just like, imagine if that was like your one shot and then now it's just gone. Like that actually is crazy. So it literally was like a, don't make the song, you probably wasn't gonna blow up like how you think you would have. He probably would have, but he would have been in a different field. Versus him making the song and him just going so high with that. That's crazy.
Them saying that David brought Celeste around his parents when he went to Houston. Because in the paperwork, it would say that after he was approached by law enforcement, and child services that is, and they let him know that she was 13 years old, she was a missing person, David continued to pursue her. And then it says, throughout 2024, the victim spent a significant amount of time with David, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family. Now, we don't know what evidence is here of the family meeting him, but I thought this was very important detail because he was from Texas, but he had just taken her to London and he was recording in London. We talked about that in a separate video. So he was out there recording in London. I'm guessing he didn't just show up to his parents' house and say, hey guys, this is my girlfriend. I don't think that happened. I think...
But how do you explain that situation? Because we all know what she looks like. She's very young. So I just don't see how you get away with that. Like, even if you say she's not your girlfriend, you're bringing a young buck into the establishment.
If she met them at all, it might have been backstage at some show. I don't think David would have wanted to be home with, especially after becoming a star, because he felt uncomfortable at home to begin with. That's why he moved out. And then the music and everything that he was releasing and his lifestyle just continued to, think about it, the guy was doing drugs and stuff at this point, because they've said that there's text between them talking about drugs, and she was potentially
that's bad
during their time together. So he was most likely staying at a hotel, not at his parents' place.
Shoot, that could have made him go crazy.
I just want to know more details about this in particular from the prosecution, because we need to know, because David's brother says all PDFs, should die and all that. His parents have remained quiet.
Which I saw that there's a video on his brother. I'll probably look at that here in a few days. Since it's from the same guy, so just as follow-up.
Which I do think they should remain quiet until the outcome of this case. They do not need to be saying anything. But yeah, I just think a lot of people are railing on the parents, but it seems like from the evidence that we've gathered so far, at least publicly, his mom was not even for his rap career or his music career to begin with. So to think that...
Also, it's crazy too, because this dude right here, like, I'm looking at him, right?
From the evidence that we've gathered so far,
obviously it's because probably he's
publicly, his mom was not even...
right here, this is like a whole different person, I swear. Like, he actually seems like a whole different, like, mood. I guess it's, maybe, fame, it gets to you. Maybe it changes you. Who knows? But it just seems so much like a different, like, attitude.
For his rap career or his music career to begin with. So to think that a church-going woman that's on the, straight path, that we don't know why, that's the one thing we don't know, pulled him out of middle school, or pulled him out to be homeschooled, she's not going to just be like, oh, hi, son, you're rich now, and you're, quote, dating this child that you're bringing into my home, and that's all good. I don't think that would have happened.
Yeah,
and I think he knew his mom well enough to know not to bring Celeste around her or to not declare her to be his girlfriend. Regardless, I don't even think that David, just looking at this relationship with his mom, I don't even think that he would have told her that he had a girlfriend or talked about relationships or anything to do with the opposite sex with her at all. From
that, I guess maybe if she's that, like, how far she is into, like, the Christian, maybe, like, the church thing, maybe she's just, like, because they're not married or anything, but, I don't see why.
But let me know what y'all think in the comments.
But yeah, I feel like this is kind of made me get a more clear understanding. It definitely gave me a clear understanding of the like the year gap part. I now understand that now, but some things I feel like might just potentially be like speculation, because like the homeschool thing, I don't think that, I think it was something else. That's my point. Something else influenced him to make such a drastic decision, it being the drugs, or I don't think it was the homeschool though. Sentence growth, okay, I'll agree with, but I wouldn't say it like messed him up that badly mentally. But yeah, so that's this video. I ain't really got nothing else to really kind of say about it. It was definitely an interesting watch, giving you more of a deep dive into bro. But like, subscribe, comment down below, hit that bell if you want to get notified. I drop at least every day. If I don't drop one day, I'll always post the next day. I will never take no break longer than a day. I mean, a day, unless something happens. Shorts, I know they've been a little kind of dry, but I'm kind of preparing something. I'm trying to make a different type of video, not a reaction. I'm trying to make something else, so it's going to be a bit. And the same thing with like the shorts. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to do a different kind of shorts. But with that being said, yeah, go check out the other videos. And let's keep running it up. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. Until next time.